Hey everybody, my name is Austin Gurley. I lead the technical design for the Apex Pro Digital Driving Coach, and today we're going to explain a little bit about how it works. So in general, most drivers have seen this idea of a traction circle, the GG plot of your car, and so a lot of what we're doing is based on the traction circle and ways we can manipulate it, ways we can model your vehicle and use it to predict what your traction circle looks like at any point on the track for any car that you're in. And so all the proprietary information, the things we're not going to tell you today, are about how we get those models into your car. But what we can tell you is what is the DDC, the Digital Driving Coach, showing you as you're driving around the track. What information is it giving you, and what all is it pulling in together and reducing it to something simple, which is the whole point of the DDC. It's to take a lot of math and a lot of sensor measurements, things that would be data traces in your normal data system that you'd review after you get off the track. We're going to take that and compress it into something that's useful while you're driving. And to do that, we have to take a lot of different sources and compress it into one measurement. So we have this diagram, and the trick here is if I can draw this diagram, this part will make a lot of sense. If I can draw this diagram, I can show you pretty easily what the Digital Driving Coach is showing you. The trick then is how do we know what the diagram looks like at any point. We'll get into that a little bit in a minute. So I've got two scenarios here, one cornering and braking into a right-hand turn, and one accelerating and exiting out of a right-hand turn. So we'll look at each of those and kind of talk about what the car is doing and what the driving coach is going to be showing you relative to what the vehicle is doing. So we have these traction limits, and you can see this green background area is all the accelerations that the vehicle is capable of. The big ellipse on the outside is mostly related to the tires. It's going to be morphing as we change speeds at different places on the track, but this kind of ellipse, which is usually called the traction ellipse, is because of the behavior of tires. So we have in steady state cornering, if we're only going around the corner, we have some maximum, where we have some maximum lateral acceleration that the car is able to sustain. And if we only brake in a straight line, we have some maximum braking that the car is able to sustain. In between that, there's a smooth continuum between combinations of cornering and braking. And it's not that we can, as we all know, we're not only doing one or the other. As we enter a corner, we're both cornering and braking. And as we exit, we're accelerating and cornering. So there's these different combinations, and we're able to achieve any place. Again, if we know what this diagram looks like for your car, for the track we're on, you're able to reach any space in this green field. So the Apex display is as simple as the difference between where you currently are and the maximum we predict you can achieve. So Apex is creating this border, constantly morphing it, changing it to your car, to your driving style, to the track you're on, to weather conditions, everything. It's constantly learning how to draw this circle. A lot of drivers, perhaps novice drivers, are going to go from braking. Maybe you get to a corner and you brake in a straight line, and then at some point you decide you've entered the corner and you transition from braking into cornering, and you have this path where you're braking only and then you're cornering only, and in between you're not really achieving much of the car's potential at all. There's this big hole that you're leaving. More experienced drivers might know to perhaps brake and then unwind the steering, pull back your brakes as you turn into the corner. And if you do that and you're reliable, decent drivers are going to follow a path that takes more of the potential of the car, which is kind of where I got that point, kind of an example of a repeatable, a good solid driver, but who doesn't quite feel the car yet. And so this is where the Apex unit is going to be showing you something where you can achieve that, but the vehicle is technically capable of some more potential. Now, whether you feel comfortable pushing it there, you have to decide that based on your skill level and your experience, but the physics add up. Once we can predict the shape of this outline, the vehicle is able to achieve some acceleration, and that's what we're predicting. Alright, so in this scenario, again, we have a less of an acceleration capability because we're limited by the engine power. So the way we're going to reflect that to give you a more intuitive feel of the accelerations the vehicle is experiencing at any point is to reduce the length of the displayed lights on the DDC. So in this case, you can see that the the red bar only extends maybe 60% of the length of the entire width of the display, whereas in the braking scenario it was the full width of the display, or almost. And in this scenario, though, the driver's doing a better job of getting to the capability of the car. Maybe he's driving at 90% of the capability. So the green bar is going to almost, but not quite, overtake the red bar in this scenario.